What do you guys think is one of the most common diagnoses we associate as autoimmune that's actually linked with gut? We haven't talked about the gut as much, is celiac disease. Can we talk celiac here? I mean, how many people know they are celiac, think they're celiac, or doesn't even care what that diagnosis is, know that gluten triggers flares like crazy in you? Type it in chat, right? The interesting thing is globally, I mean, only like 1 in 100 people are diagnosed with celiac. Okay. And that's wrong. I'm going to tell you that right now. And there's a big, and celiac, just to define it for people, is for people who eat gluten. When they eat gluten in their bodies, it triggers this really irritating autoimmune attack in their gut that goes insane, right? And it can permanently destroy the lining in the gut. If there's gluten on it, your body's going to attack the hell out of it if you have celiac disease, to the point of destroying all the cells and all the lining in your gut. Now, here's the thing. Celiac disease, I mean, Kathy, this is interesting, was diagnosed initially by biopsy in the gut. And they said, oh, celiac disease is a disease of the gut. All of you with celiac out there, gluten problems out there, is it only a disease that involves your gut? Do you think the only target under attack is your gut when you eat gluten? Type in chat for you. When you eat gluten, what other targets are under attack? You never grow out of celiac. You can't grow out of celiac. But that's a misunderstanding that celiac is just a gut disease and that that's the only target, right? So can I tell you guys something, that what I see really common in celiac is that always 100% of people with celiac, if celiac disease was diagnosed today, it would be considered a neurological illness, which means that there's tons of symptoms related to brain zaps, headaches, migraines, depression, ADD, autism spectrum, growth delay, neuropathy, nerve pain. Like in celiac, it isn't just the gut cell when exposed to gluten that it actually attacks. When you actually eat the gluten, it triggers the attack of every target that immune system wants to attack. And I promise you, all these nerves, brain, even brain hormones are under attack in celiac. So celiac is not a gut autoimmune disease, and it doesn't belong in a GI doctor's office. If someone says, I can only diagnose celiac disease when your biopsy comes back and shows this. So imagine this is a normal gut cell. There's the base of the cell of your intestine, and there's all these what we call villi sticking up, and there's millions of these cells lining your gut, right? If they biopsy it, when they see that there's nothing left, it's a Sahara desert in your gut, just lining, and none of these villi sticking out anymore. Oh, you have celiac disease. That's permanent destruction of all the villi there. Then we're like, oh yeah. It's like saying, like, I'm really not interested in cancer prevention, even though there are signs of this in this person for 20, 30 years before, and there's other ways to actually figure this out. But when you do get cancer, I'm really smart oncologist. I can diagnose you with cancer. That's what we have reduced like the diagnosis and treatment of celiac disease to. I have so many GI docs who tell my clients that you don't have a problem with gluten, your biopsy is negative, go back and eat it. And meanwhile, the person is sitting here with debilitating headaches, joint pain, and mental health and chronic fatigue and hormones that are kaput, right? My GI doctor says my gold standard of the biopsy is negative, so I don't have celiac. I can go back to eating gluten. And no, that's not true. And gluten-related illness isn't just celiac. Okay? How many people don't have celiac, but know that when they eat gluten, their autoimmune disease symptoms get worse? How many people? If that's you, type it in chat, right? This is really important to share. I have Hashimoto's and I have mixed connective tissue. Okay? Here's what happens to me when I eat gluten. Okay? True story. So when I eat gluten, well, there's many things, but this is the most dramatic. If I accidentally eat gluten, my entire right leg, actually left leg, goes completely numb and my left leg goes weak. What does this tell you about what does my immune system like to attack? Nerves. And guess how many years and decades I've been dealing with chronic pain, neuropathy, right? I have like this thing called fibromyalgia. I have TMJ. I had fibromyalgia, right? I had nerve pain up the wazoo for decades, right? But no one ever said, oh, you have an autoimmune issue that likes to attack nerves and it's eating gluten makes it worse, right? Because it's a super trigger of this autoimmune attack for you. No one's ever said that. And I had to figure that out the hard way. So this is why it's really, for me, really important that when we work with people, with any sort of symptoms, and it can involve any part of the system, and it's a lot, which is why I'm going to say something here. Okay. If you're asking me, like, what can you do for Sjogren's? What can you do for lupus? What can you do for my POTS or mast cell? Look, I can't help you by you watching this training, right? But what I can do to help you is I need to ask all these questions about all these systems. And I created a 360 health evaluation where when you go through it and you answer all these questions, it gives us a really good idea of what systems are under attack. Remember, MISS is multi-immune symptom targeting. So if nobody's really sitting here asking all these questions about these different symptoms and then generating a report and an evaluation and going it over with you, how the heck do you know it's connected when none of your doctors really understand that this is a syndrome, right? So if you are interested in doing the 360 health assessment and going through the evaluation and having us review the results with you, we're going to put a link in chat for you to do that.